this is Joy Houston of The Delicious Revolution, and today we're going to make a splurge, an absolute splurge. It has brie, it has bacon, say no more, right? Well, it also has fresh seasonal Bosque pears, a little thin crepe, and some nice crisp greens to wash it all down. So why do we want to splurge? Why is it healthy for us to go ahead and consume some brie and bacon, that sort of thing on a, somewhat regular basis? Let's talk about that. I think that our body creates some nasty chemicals, some nasty stress chemicals when our diets are too restricted. So I like to make sure that my diet includes some nice splurges now and then. I like to celebrate. I like to have weekends with my family where we have special breakfasts. So this is a perfect meal for that. It's really quick. It's really easy, and it looks really phenomenal. So you can easily impress your friends with this dish for sure. Now, you could use butter, but all I'm doing is taking a little bit of coconut oil and putting it on a preheated griddle. Now, you could use a crepe pan as well, but just for the ease of showing you things here, I'm gonna go ahead and use the griddle. Once that griddle is nice and hot, and we can tell if it's nice and hot if it gives us a little sizzle when we splash a little water on it. I can tell just by looking, but just to show you what that looks like, you should get some bubbles of water that dance around. See how they kind of jump around the grill? This one's really jumping. So that's ready to go. When the water dances all around the grill, you're just up and ready to go. Now this crepe mix, the recipe's online, so don't worry about writing all this down. This is a very simple crepe mix. You can find it at www.thedeliciousrevolution.com. We're going to take about 3/4 of a cup of our crepe mix, which I let warm while I prepared the other ingredients, and I'll tell you why. It comes out smoother with less bubbles if you just let the crepe mixture come to room temperature. Now, I always take and make sure I spread it nice and thin so it's easy to flip. Oh, we have one creeping into the gutter there. There we go. You want it nice and thin so that it's easy to flip. I'm actually using a frosting spatula to flip mine because I think that makes it a little bit easier. Now we're gonna know that crepe is ready to flip when it starts to look dry, it starts to look matte. And while that's cooking up, I'm gonna let you know what I have here for the crepes. I have some sliced Bosque pears. Perfect seasonal fruit for right now. They're crisp, they're delicious, they're sweet. I also have some brie. I don't want to overdo it with brie and clog my system up. So what I did was I put a nice block of brie in the freezer so that I could cut it in thinner chunks. When it's room temperature, it's a little hard to slice it thin. And you want it thin sliced so you don't get too much in each bite. The next thing that I have here is some onions. This is 1 clove of garlic, so just a little bit of garlic, and 1 whole sweet onion. Now you can get Peruvian sweets, Walla Wallas, Vidalias, Hawaiian sweets, whatever sweet onion works well, but I think the sweets work better with the pear and the brie. It's a little bit less overpowering, but if you wanted more onion taste, you certainly could go with a standard onion. You probably would not need that much. I'm just gonna check my crepe here. It's coming, but it's not quite done. The other thing that I've done, I'll show you here, is I've already got some crispy bacon ready to go. Now, bacon is one of those treats that, people just can't seem to pass up, but this dish is great because you only get a tiny little bit of chopped up bacon in the dish. You don't have that craving where you just want to eat a slice and keep eating more. This makes it real easy to just enjoy the bacon in the dish, and you don't feel like cheating so much. I'm gonna turn the heat up on that just a little bit. The grill is a little different here. And once this starts to look matte, you can see it's matte just about 3/4 of the way through. Once it gets matte looking all the way to the center, then it should be relatively easy for us to just flip. Now, once we flip it, all we're gonna do is make a nice triangle shape of brie and pear and bacon in the center. We're not gonna roll it closed. We're not gonna try to fold it in half like a quesadilla. We're gonna give it a nice unique shape by leaving a peekaboo window in the middle so you can see what's in there. So let's see if this is ready to flip. This looks pretty good. I like to go ahead and slide the spatula under there first just to make sure I don't get anything sticking. Up and over. Now I know that looks real easy, right? You're probably thinking, well, that's easy for her, but I've never done it before. You know what? This batter that I have online is so easy to flip. If you do have a pan that's even relatively new, you could flip it right in the pan, no problem. And when you're flipping in a pan, remember, think of a a Ferris wheel. So you want to just slide it towards the front of the pan, give it a nice flip, just like it's on a Ferris wheel. Circle just like a Ferris wheel. It'll flip over no problem. Or if you want to do the griddle, this is a great way to do it too. If you want kids to help you, I recommend the griddle too. It's a little bit easier work surface for them. Now I want to go ahead and give this a minute just to make sure that this browns on the outside before I fold anything in. So I'm going to make sure that this side gets really matte too. Now in the meantime, let's go ahead and get some of this cheese on here and melting. Again, we're just going to make a triangle shape so that we have plenty of crepe to fold up over the center. Let's move that there. There we go. And if your brie pieces are a little long, just go ahead and chop them up with your hands, no problem. So we have a nice brie center. And we're gonna have a little bit of crumbled bacon on there as well. Here we go. Again, we want to stay in our little triangle shape. Very nice. There we go. Okay, and now we're gonna put some thin slices of pear on there as well. So that's gonna give it some sweetness. I'm gonna break up some of the pear so that it fits in the triangle. We want someone to get a little bit of pear, a little bit of bacon, and a little bit of brie with every bite. Now the rest of my crepe is starting to look nice and matte on the outside. I want it to have a little golden color on the other side. That's just not quite happening yet, is it? Nope, not yet. I think we need our heat to come up just a little bit more. We're gonna scoop on some delicious caramelized onions that have just a little bit of garlic flavor in them as well. Now, I think it's fabulous to use this as a brunch or a breakfast to surprise your family on one morning for a special occasion. These onions are not overpowering because they're sweet, so you can see I'm putting quite a lot of onion on here. If you wanted to use a regular onion, you want to go a little bit lighter. Now I'm using a frosting spatula, but you could use any spatula you like. And I'm going to fold these over this triangle of filling. I'm going to leave a little peekaboo window so that whoever I'm serving this to is going to see a little bit of the treat inside. And it's getting away from your standard crepe that's either shaped like a quesadilla, which I don't like them that way, or maybe it's folded into a triangle like they serve the banana Nutella nut crepes on the street in Paris. But I love a little peekaboo window to let them know there's some brie, bacon, and caramelized onions coming their way. So we're gonna go ahead and fold this closed, and you can take the spatula and press it a little if it seems like it needs that. Now this is nice and golden in spots, and that's exactly what we're going for. The other thing we're going for is that the cheese is melted clear through and that everything's nice and hot in there. Now this looks melted down really, really well, so I'm gonna go ahead and get this served up here. Now, because we're having such a delicious treat, it's always nice for the body to include a little bit of greens to help that go down your pipes a little more smoothly. So when I serve this delicious treat, I always serve it on top of greens. People love the flavor of the onions along with the greens. It just gives this dish a little crispness that wouldn't otherwise be there. I'm gonna grab another spatula here to make sure I do this somewhat gracefully. Again, I'm gonna get under there and make sure I have no stick. I'm gonna transfer that right to the plate. And look at that, so delicious. I'm gonna push this out of the way here. And then when I cut into it, I want you to see how you can see all these delicious flavors coming together. Just for me. Look at that. Okay, so let's give it a cut. So I want you to take a look at how pretty that looks too when you leave the peekaboo window and you can see all that brie peeking out over here. You can see the bacon and onions. You sit that down in front of somebody and I guarantee you they're gonna be excited to eat breakfast. I also just wanna cut into it so you can see. Oh, look at that. A little bit of everything right for a Saturday or Sunday morning. Okay, I'm just gonna take a little bite and make sure it came out good. I don't wanna leave you wondering whether or not it came out all right. Let me just, creamy brie. I get the sweet crunchiness of the pear, the crisp bacon, and the cool crispness of the lettuce. Delicious. Splurge on. If you'd like more recipes like this, please check us out online. I have lettuce in my teeth. at thedeliciousrevolution.com. That's thedeliciousrevolution.com. Thank you.